Hey guys. Um, I have a cold or something. I think it's allergies, but it's like really bad today. Um, it's also really cold outside. So I'm staying in. I might go grocery shopping and make some bean soup, which I'm really excited about. But I wanted to make a video because I feel like I haven't been I'm not in the habit anymore of sharing what's going on, and I want to get back into it. Um, but to give like a little update, I don't know. I am having a low day, a low couple of days. I had a panic attack on Sunday night that kind of brought me down. It brought me down real bad, and it's still something that I'm still processing, and trying to learn from it in a safe way, taking care of myself. Because I haven't had a panic attack since like last summer, maybe. It's been a while since I've had a panic attack. And the things that triggered this panic attack, it's a lot. It's heavy. And I want to reflect on it. And I want to share that experience in the future, but I can't really, I don't know how to talk about it yet. But anyway, something that was kind of like influenced by, or the way I felt about it, something else that's been going on in my head lately, is a topic of like oversharing, or the notion of oversharing. Notion, I don't know. I feel like I overshare in certain conversations, and sometimes I feel like oversharing is something that people just like, if you say, oh, this person overshared, they just probably provided information that you weren't comfortable with. And so I've been kind of seeing it as that way when I feel like I'm oversharing. It's like, no, you were willing to share that, and that's okay. But I'm starting to notice like my compulsion to overshare more than my pattern. I guess like it's not that I overshare a little bit. It's that internally I have a compulsion to tell people things that do you hear that? Okay. So I have a compulsion to overshare. I have this tiny little, not tiny because it's my OCD, but this loud voice in the back of my head saying, tell them this, 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 tell them this. Tell people that, tell people, tell someone, you have to 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 tell someone, that is anything happens to me. And I'm trying to, I think I figured out for me right now, I made a little connection as to why, this side note, this feels really good in my hand because it feels like a vape, but it's not a vape, and I'm trying to not vape or smoke, so yeah, I'm just gonna hold this. Wow, cool. Anyway, trying to figure out the origins, or like the root of where this like oversharing comes from, and I think it's because I was over surveilled as a child. And when I made that connection, I wrote down some stuff. I had to stop for a second and really process that, where I have this a compulsion to overshare in person, and then also a compulsion to overshare online in terms of like the way I use like my Instagram stories, or I just created a new separate account where I like journal, like not like journal, pour my heart out, but like just track what I'm doing every single day. And only one person follows it, who has a similar, one of my friends who has a similar account, who inspired me to do that. But then I started noticing I'm writing down a lot of the bad stuff that is happening when I post every single day or so. And I was like, why do I feel like I'm using this again? Like my spam account in high school, where that was the only place where I could share my feelings to people who never really helped me in real life, like my close friends. Never really like talked about it. I think that there's this like I could go on about the depression journals and spam accounts that a lot of people had in middle school, high school. But I found myself going back to this, where it's like, why do I want to post the bad stuff? And I think that it's okay to have a balance of like vulnerability and wanting to share with people the real side of you. But I think it almost loses, like, even just now when I said like the real side, why do I feel like the real side of me is one that suffers and is in pain all the time? Like, that's the real me. If only people knew the real me, they would know how much I suffer, how anxious I am, how this, how that. The real me is how I present myself to the world. I'm connecting the dots right now, and it's actually it's making me feel really good, because again, there's this pattern of like, and it's coming out with some of my friendships, where I'm like, this person isn't trying hard enough, this person isn't working hard enough, this person isn't doing enough, this person is blah blah blah. I'm putting my judgments on other people because I love to suffer. I love to, and I'm being so serious, I love to stay up all night till 3, 4 in the morning on my computer, working really, really, really hard, so that when I go to bed, I feel satisfied that I tried my best. Because the only way that I feel like I did my job is if I put myself through hell to get there. Genuinely. If I compromised my sleep, if I compromised my rest, if I compromised my, something that has to do with my daily survival, then it's worth it. Because that means I tried hard enough. If I literally break down my body and try to use all of my resources, that's what it means to try my best. And the real me is all of it. It's the good and the bad. Not just the bad, okay? I was talking to my friend the other day, And I like told him, I was like, I'm a really, really anxious person. I'm a really blah blah blah. And I was like, I kind of stopped myself because literally like a few months ago, I want to say about a year ago, I realized that I'm not actually as anxious as I thought I was. And so now I'm like, why am I bringing back these old labels that I used to give myself? The old labels that I identified with. Why? Why am I doing that again? And I think that's, I don't know, wow, something that I'm realizing right now as I'm saying this. Like, I've been feeling so scared for the past couple of weeks. So anxious to get out of bed. So hopeless. Because I went back to identifying with parts of myself that I used to be. What? Why am I doing that? Why am I doing that? Why am I relabeling myself as an anxious person right now? Because it's easier to say that I'm anxious than it is to act away from that fear or that insecurity. I don't know. Whoa. Okay. This whole thing just led into something way differently in my brain that I need to process. But I still want to upload this because I haven't said anything in a while. But I'm gonna sit with this. I'm gonna think about this for a little bit. But okay, that's it.